JBNN will keep you informed. I'm Michelle Jones. Hi guys. Before we go into the news, please remember to like, subscribe, leave a comment, and share the news with someone today. Now on to the news. Man gunned down in Yorktown, Clarendon. Tension is brewing in Yorktown, Clarendon, following the reported gang-related murder of a man on Wednesday night. Gunned down was 45-year-old Kenroy Thane, also known as Peter, a labourer of Yorktown settlement. Sources have disclosed that the killing came amid a reported rekindled gang feud in the area. Fearing possible reprisals, the police said they're ramping up their presence in the area. The police report that about 8:15 p.m., Thane was standing along the Yorktown main road in the vicinity of York Circle when a white Toyota Accent motor car and another black vehicle drove up and opened fire, hitting him several times. The police were summoned, and on arrival, Thane was seen lying face down with multiple gunshot wounds to the upper body and back. He was taken to hospital where he was pronounced dead. There is reported renewed tension between rival gangsters in the area, including the One Family Gang, which operates out of Yorktown. Police said a number of intelligence and operations were carried out surrounding the One Family Gang in the past, which led to the killing, displacement, and arrest of some of its members, including the gang's alleged leader, who is behind bars. The police say, however, the gang is again becoming active. Senior citizen injured in St. Andrew gun attack. A 73-year-old man was shot and injured during a gun attack on Monro Road, St. Andrew, on Wednesday night. The elderly man, a carpenter, was shot when a gunman opened fire on him and another man on a section of the roadway. The other man escaped injuries, the police said. Reports saw that around 7 p.m., both men were on Monro Road when they were pounced upon by another man traveling on foot and armed with a handgun. The gunman, the police said, opened gunfire, hitting the elderly man in his right hand before escaping on foot. The injured man was rushed by residents to hospital for treatment. No motive has been established for the attack, the police said. Businessman shot in attempted ambush in Westmoreland. A businessman was shot and injured during an attempted ambush at Delviland in Little London, Westmoreland, on Wednesday night. The businessman, who is also a licensed firearm holder, narrowly escaped with his life after he and several gunmen traded bullets, the police said. Information received indicate that shortly after 9 p.m., the businessman was driving his white Toyota Hiace bus along the Delviland main road when he reached a cane field with a narrow concrete and metal bridge. He realized the bridge was blocked with debris from banana trees and pieces of sticks and stopped. Gunmen armed with rifles reportedly pounced upon the businessman from the cane field. He reportedly pulled his licensed firearm and discharged several rounds in the direction of the gunmen. The men fled through the cane field while returning the gunfire. When the shooting subsided, the businessman discovered that he was shot in the right side of his chest and right upper arm. His bus received gunshot damages to the right driver door post and right side door glass. Police, who responded to the incident, rushed the businessman to hospital where he was treated and admitted in serious condition. Shorty killed in Manchester. Police are probing the murder of a man in Cedar Grove, Manchester, on Thursday night. Police named the victim as Dwayne Danville. Residents said Danville was also called Shorty, or Short Man. He's said to be in his 30s. Reports are that about 8 p.m., residents heard loud explosions. Just over an hour later, Danville was found suffering from what appeared to be gunshot wounds to the head and clutching a ratchet knife. It is understood that Danville was on a phone call with a relative when he got another call, prompting him to leave his apartment in Cedar Grove. Shortly after, he was gunned down at the entrance of the building. Danville was pronounced dead at hospital. 6 Monro College students facing burglary and larceny charges. 6 students at Monro College in St. Elizabeth are in custody, suspected of being involved in a case of burglary and larceny. The students were picked up at a boarding house at Monro District about 8 p.m. Thursday. Acting on information, detectives from the Santa Cruz and Malvern police stations carried out a targeted raid at the premises where 8 flat-screen televisions were among items seized. It's suspected that the electronics were stolen from a nearby property. Superintendent Coleridge Minto, head of the St. Elizabeth Police Division, said the boys were aged 13 to 16.
They were taken in due to an ongoing investigation for housebreaking. 8 televisions were recovered at the premises where the raid was conducted. The investigation is still ongoing. At this time, the students are in our custody, and the representation has been made at the court to decide whether or not we grant them bail or to remand them. There are a number of incidents that have been taking the national airways over the last couple of weeks. We certainly will, from our division, provide our community safety and security officers to deploy them into our schools to assist with the behavioral issues and to support the schools with their own behavioral modification programs.
Mark Smith, principal of Monro College, has expressed surprise at the allegations against the boys, whom he confirmed were boarding off the school compound. Smith said students are repeatedly warned to stay away from criminality. Farmer killed in Pigpen was wanted for murder in St. Elizabeth, say police. The police have confirmed that a farmer who was killed in Logwood, Hanover last week was wanted for murder in St. Elizabeth. The bullet-wounded body of 36-year-old Jamar Miles, otherwise called Bosshead, was found on May 7 in a pig pen at Fish River Road. The St. Elizabeth police say Miles was being sought for the March 18, 2015 murder of Dental in Dunkerley, an employee of Appleton Estates. After the murder, the suspect fled the parish. The police say another person is awaiting trial before the St. Elizabeth Circuit Court for the murder of Dunkerley. It was disclosed that while in Hanover, Miles was arrested multiple times. Gun and ammunition seized in St. Andrew, 4 arrested. 4 males, including a juvenile, were arrested following the seizure of an illegal gun and 15 rounds of ammunition in St. Andrew on Thursday afternoon. The weapon was found during an operation by the St. Andrew North Police and military personnel in the Sherborne Heights community in St. Andrew. The Stony Hill Police are probing. Teen implicated in Dunkirk gun attack charge. An 18-year-old has been charged with shooting with intent after allegedly attacking a man in his yard in Dunkirk, Kingston, earlier this month. Charges Kevin Levy, otherwise called Dante and Suarez, of Bray Street in Dunkirk. In addition to the wounding with intent charge, Levy is also facing charges of possession of a prohibited weapon and unauthorized possession of ammunition. Police report said the shooting happened on Sunday, May 5 on Clark Street in Dunkirk, about 3:15 a.m. It is alleged that Levy and 2 other men approached a man while he was in his yard and opened gunfire at him before escaping on foot in the area. The man received multiple gunshot wounds to the upper body and was transported to hospital, where he was admitted. An investigation was launched into the shooting, and following an operation, Levy was taken into custody on Monday, May 13. He was subsequently charged on Wednesday after a question and answer session in the presence of his attorney. His court date is being finalized. 3 Jamaicans killed in ferry crash in Cayman. The police in the Cayman Islands today reported that the 3 people who were killed in a ferry crash on Monday are all Jamaicans. They have been identified as 41-year-old Shakira Stewart, 30-year-old Jonah Whitaker, and 53-year-old Vinroy Grant. The police said the Jamaicans were living and working in the country. The incident occurred on Shamrock Road in the vicinity of Coral Bay Village. According to the police, the collision, which occurred around 12:15 a.m., involved 5 vehicles, including a black Honda Accord, a white Toyota Tundra, and a black Honda Fit. The Toyota Tundra and the Honda Fit both caught fire, which was extinguished by the firefighters. The Jamaicans who were in the Honda Fit were killed. 2 other people in other vehicles were injured and taken to hospital for treatment. Verdict in Petrojam fraud case set for December 10. Senior Parish Judge Maxine Ellis is to deliver a summation and verdict on December 10 in the case of the 2 former Petrojam executives who were charged with defrauding the state-owned petroleum company of more than $10 million. They are former General Manager Floyd Grindley and former Board Chairman Dr. Percival Singh. Singh is accused of submitting claims amounting to $73,000 for overseas travels he allegedly did not make. Grindley is accused of aiding and abetting Singh to process the claims. It is alleged that the reimbursement claims were made between December 2016 and May 2018. The trial began in the Kingston and the St. Andrew Parish Court in May 2022. The accused men had given unsworn statements on the dock and insisted that they were innocent. After hearing submissions from King's Counsel K.D. Knight and Attorney at Law Bianca Samuels, representing Grindley, and Attorney at Law Berth Samuels. After hearing submissions from King's Counsel K.D. Knight and Attorney at Law Bianca Samuels, representing Grindley, and Attorneys at Law Berth Samuels and Matthew Hyatt, representing Singh, the judge reserved her decision yesterday until December 10. King's Counsel Caroline Hay prosecuted the case on a fiat from the Office of the Director of Public Prosecution. In her submissions, she opposed the submissions of the defense lawyers for the men to be acquitted. Honest orders reassessment of security risk of schools. Prime Minister Andrew Holness has directed the Ministries of Education and National Security to immediately undertake a reassessment of the security risk of schools in light of recent violent incidents at schools. During a meeting with the Custos of Manchester, Garfield Green, at the office of the Prime Minister on Wednesday, Holness said the issue of school violence has emerged as a matter of grave concern coming out of the pandemic in Jamaica and other countries.
Given that there is this underlying change in the behavior of our youth, I have directed the Ministry of National Security and the Ministry of Education to do a reassessment of the security risk of schools. So that way, we can get a better understanding of which schools are at risk and how to direct resources to those schools. We have already started to increase the number of case managers that would be available for community intervention and school interventions through the Ministry of National Security. We're going to increase the number of school resource officers, and the school resource officer program has been very effective, but from time to time, depending on the intensity of implementation, sometimes schools get resource officers and sometimes they don't. What we're going to seek to do now, after the conduct of this new assessment of the school, is to increase the numbers and then redirect some of these officers to those schools with the highest risk. But immediately, we have discussed with the Ministry of National Security and the Ministry of Education that all schools must review their entry policy, they must review their search policy, and in particular, they must now seek to put in place measures to detect and seize weapons in schools, particularly knives and other implements that can be used to cause damage. So that directive will go out through the Ministry of Education and the Ministry of National Security shortly. Schools must increase the level of searches to detect these weapons that are being brought into the school compound.
JBNN will keep you informed. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, leave us a comment, and click the notification bell to receive our daily news items.